Okay, good morning. My name is John Fish. I'm the Air Operations Branch Director for the Southern Area Incident Management Team 1 that's here helping manage this fire here in northern Minnesota.
Can you spell your name too?
Yes, John, John, last name Fish, Fish. And again, Air Operations Branch Director. So my specific function is to help Operations Chief, who you just spoke to, Shane Sturgill, as an aviation expert, and help him manage all the aviation assets, because there's a lot to that, a lot of technical stuff that those operations chiefs need to be focused on the entire operation. We help them with all the knowledge and coordination from the air. So the air fight has to be coordinated with the ground resources. So we're here to support the ground. You can't put the fire out with the aviation resources. It takes that team effort from ground resources and air resources working together safely to help contain and then control the fire. We've used a variety of aircraft on this fire, and you're going to get to see a unique one right behind me here. This is unique to firefighting, the Floatplane, and the folks here will talk a lot more about that in detail for you. But we also use a series of different rotor-winged aircraft or helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft, which are airplanes, to do different things. Tactical missions, we actually drop water and retardant on in advance of the fire. With these aircraft, we use them for aerial intelligence as well. We actually have a supervisor that called the air attack that is up over the fire. He's coordinating with the ground resources, finding out how aviation can help them, and then calling in the particular aircraft and actually helping manage all that airspace, almost like a control tower in the sky. He will coordinate that and make sure that the ground's clear of firefighters, so that we're being safe and that we can get those retardant or water into the fire. We also use it, as today we're actually transporting firefighters to the line with these float planes, because it's a wilderness area. This is a unique place because we can't access a lot of places by ground. We're using a lot of aircraft to transport firefighters as well. We're also using unmanned aircraft, so we've got both manned and unmanned aircraft. So we're using drones for numerous purposes here. One of the biggest ones here, because of the duff and the way the duff burns, and sometimes we don't even see smoke out there, but there's heat under the ground. We need to deal with that. So we use those drones and some fixed wing aircraft that are manned as well to look for heat signatures. We use infrared cameras on those, infrared mapping, and we're able to find out where that heat is, so the ground forces can then focus on those areas and make sure that we get this fire and keep it contained, and then work toward controlling the fire as well. We've flown over 627 hours so far with aircraft on this fire since its beginning. Our team was not here at the very beginning, but we're tracking all of that. We've delivered over 3 million gallons of water to the fire with both fixed wing and rotor winged aircraft, and about 120,000 gallons of fire retardant, which is actually dropped in advance of the fire to help slow its spread. So again, it's a coordinated effort between the ground and the air, trying to get as many of the assets we have available to us. We've had as many as 18 helicopters available to us on this fire. We've also had about as many fixed-wing aircraft of different types. And luckily, because we're gaining more containment and control on these fires, some of those resources have left to join the fight out in the western United States. So we have to move those around. They're critical resources. And so we've given up some of those, but we've got plenty here still to do what we need to do to help continue to contain and control these fires. We do either 2 or 3 week assignments. That's as much as we can take, 14, 16 hours a day. So we bring in a fresh team, and we're transitioning with them now to make sure they've got everything they need to do that. That's a team from the eastern area, and they're going to take this fire over for the next 2 to 3 weeks. But you're going to see resources continuing to get less, but making sure that we absolutely have enough, not only to handle the fire that we have on the ground and on the landscape, but initial attack, because lightning's still a factor. Human-caused fires can still be a challenge, so we're going to have plenty of initial attack resources here that are ready to jump on the next starter. So we look at each and every day, throughout the day, we're looking at adjusting our strategies and tactics that we employ on the fire. Because of the recent rain and all the hard work that's been done by the firefighters, we can actually go what we call more direct attack rather than indirect attack. So we're getting in there close to the fire line, finding these heat sources, finding out where there's smoke, or even heat sources where there's not smoke, and dealing with those. We've got the resources now to do that, so we're going to take advantage of them being here and make sure that we keep this fire contained and start inching up that containment percentage across the fire. So we look at that, and we're working on all the fires in the area. Some are in patrol and monitor status on the west side, which is awesome. We're still watching them from the air and from the ground, but they haven't shown any heat signatures, but we're not going to call them completely controlled until we know that there's no chance that fire is going to be a threat.
What's keeping them burning right now, and how is the winter months going to help impact this in a positive way?
So it all has to do with moisture as far as putting the fire out. So these rains have been helpful, but the way this area is, the fuel actually, or the ground itself actually burns. So you got peat, you got bog type fuels that are dry right now. So heat can hide underneath that. So we use those infrared resources from aerial that we were talking about to identify those areas and focus on them. But it's going to take a large amount of precipitation, whether that be rain and that would be very beneficial, or snow, as that goes to actually put the fires out. This morning, this is what we call one of our interagency hotshot crews. These are ground firefighters, very experienced, and they are being inserted into an area of the fire that is inaccessible. That's why we're using aviation. So they'll actually, all their gear is lined up here. It's going to go with them so that they have all the fire gear, safety gear that they need. And it's also going to bring canoes with them, because once they land, they can't get close enough to the shore, so they're actually going to have to unload their canoes, work their way into where they're going to go into, and make sure they're able to put some fire line in a particular spot that we've assessed needs to be addressed.
My name is Tim Olson, O-L-S-E-N for the last name. I am the ASI, the Aviation Maintenance Inspector for this fleet of aircraft here at the Erie Seaplane. You want questions? You want to know what I do, what we do here?
Can you tell us about the 3 Beaver aircraft, their age, how long you've got them here?
So we fly 3 de Havilland Beavers here. 191 Zulu that's in maintenance behind me, that was bought brand new by the Forest Service in 1956. 192 Zulu that's out there going to be flying today, that was bought brand new in 1959. And then Beaver 3, 193 Zulu was an excise military aircraft, and it came here sometime in the late 60s, early 70s.
Could you tell us about the history of firefighting in these particular aircraft?
So the Superior National Forest started utilizing aircraft in like 1929, 1930. In 38, they bought their first aircraft, which was a Stinson. These aircraft came out in the early 50s, and they bought these. These are made specifically for bush flying, or the flying that we do here. They're type certificated from the FAA to have a canoe on the side, so we can bring firefighters in and out. So that's why they've switched to these aircraft.
And what about that little red thing on the side?
Oh, so the red thing on the side was the first, we'll call that one of the first fire water bombing aircraft. They designed that here in this hangar. In 1959, it was certified on STC, a supplemental type certificate by the FAA in 1960. It's a 125-gallon tank for fighting fires from the air, as well as bringing, like I said, the crews in with the canoe.
Are these aircraft used for anything other than firefighting?
Yes, we do the majority of the search and rescue medevacs in the boundary waters. We have a fish stocking tank that can go in to stock fish. We have a tree seeding hopper that can go inside the aircraft to tree seed the forest in places where there's no roads. We do wildlife telemetry, law enforcement. This aircraft can basically do anything here on the forest we need it to do.
Can you just talk a little bit about how it works? Like it's kind of a weird question, but how do they pick up the water? How does it distribute the water? That kind of thing.
So there's a handle, it's all analog. There's a handle inside the aircraft that the pilots pull up and closes the doors. There's a scoop on the side of the aircraft when they're flying on step that water goes into the tank. There's a hole on the other side. When the water shoots out the hole, they have a mirror, they can see that, they take off. When they're over the fire, they hit the handle down, drops the water, and then they cycle it again.
And is it around 125, you said 1,000 gallons?
No, 125 gallons.
125 gallons, and it's all in one mission, or do they have to do multiple scoops?
Yep, so for every 120, that's the first round, and then for 125 gallons each drum.
And about how many of these planes do you all have in your possession here?
We have 3 here. The government owns 6 total, but the other 3 are in Alaska doing other stuff. The 3 here do the missions I just said.
I mean 6 nationwide. You said 3 in Alaska.
Yeah, the one in Alaska is a law enforcement one, and then DOI has 2 out of Anchorage.
So 6 nationwide.
6 total by the government, but these 3 are the only 3 that are here doing what we do.
And these 3 stay at Gilly?
90% of the time, yes. We do some fire detection in the spring. we can still get parts, we can still utilize it. They were roughly $50,000 brand new, so they've been upgraded with all modern avionics and equipment. It's non-pressurized skin, so there's basically the useful life is forever. It's not like an airliner where you have a certain amount of cycles, because they, you know, an airliner you're pressurized and depressurized, and that fatigues the metal. You don't really have that metal fatigue because it's a non-pressurized skin aircraft.
So these have long lives.
Yep, as long as we can get, absolutely, as long as we can get engines, we can still get engines. There's 3 overhaul facilities in the United States that overhaul our engines. Straight floats. In the wintertime, we have a groomed runway and we run wheel skis. There's some boards over here to my left that explain the history of what the aircraft can and can't do.
Being local here, can you talk about just what it's like to see these planes in action?
It's part of the history of Peely. I enjoy it. I like working on airplanes, and I get to live in the greatest part of the state.
My name's Jeremy Harmon, Jeremy-Harmon, and I am the supervisory pilot here at the Ely Seaplane Base.
Can you tell us what's the specialized training that pilots have to go through and what sets them apart to do these kinds of missions?
So starting with the basics, to be a commercial pilot, you have to go through about 250 hours of training and flight time. From there, once you have a commercial pilot's license, you can go and start flying airplanes for hire. Some of the unique things that we look for with the Forest Service and with the federal government, 1,500 hours of total flight time. For our unique mission sets, you have to have a seaplane rating. And with that, we look for about 200 hours or more of seaplane time. Most all of the pilots that have come through this facility within the last, certainly within the last several decades have all been or have flown in Alaska or northern Maine and have backcountry or what we would call bush flying experience.
Did any pilots here not have previous fire experience? Is this the
previous fire experience, I know that I did not when I first came here. I've been here for 5 years, but I did have time flying in remote areas of Maine and Alaska. The firefighting experience and the knowledge is gained over time. We go through aerial firefighting academies, so we learn all of the dynamics of the fire, all the terminology, and then when we do the crew transport, we learn from them as well. So we're always learning when it comes to that as well.
Okay, with the pilots in this incident, how much fire experience had they had previously?
Previously, so like I said, I've been flying here for 5 years, several other smaller fires. Our other pilot that we have here at the Seaplane Base, same thing, he's been here for 2 years, also flown on several fires and several missions like this before.
Can you share some of the similarities and differences based on your previous experience with these missions? What has made this particular fire stand out for you?
It's certainly the largest one that I have flown on, size-wise and acreage-wise. Normally we'll have 1 or 2 small fires, and as Tim had mentioned, part of our mission set is fire detection. So we'll fly our fire detection routes on the forest. If we find a small single tree lightning strike, which is similar to what started the majority of these, we call it in, size it up, ask if they want water put on the fire, because we are first on scene. We carry the pickup tube in the aircraft anytime we're on floats and have the tank. And then we'll go into dropping water if they would like it. So we kind of try to find it small and keep it small. As they grow, the 125 gallons does start to become less effective, and that's where we would call in the larger capacity water dropping aircraft.